All right, I'm once again at the takeout for Middle King. Super fired up to be back here, setting shuttle right now. I spent about a little over a week in Kernville after Upper Cherry, constantly checking the gauge every day, hoping that King would start coming up, and every time it would look like, oh, it's starting to come up, maybe we can go in a day or two. It would just drop out again, and it would just like never quite making it into the realm of like lower levels. It just kept staying on the cusp of when you want to head in for lower flows. And then coming into this weekend, it was like I had to make a choice on a final run because I have to head to Colorado on Tuesday. And so last Tuesday was after Memorial Weekend, and it wasn't look like Kings were going to be coming in. And I got a message from Isaac and Josh saying that maybe could head over to Devil's Poach Pile. It was a little on the high end, but dropping in. It was one of the few runs I hadn't done, and it looks incredible. It looks like amazing gorges with a lot of sick whitewater. So on Wednesday, we woke up, drove about 5 hours to Mammoth Lake, dropped my car, and then did about 7.5 hours in Josh's van up and around to Mammoth. I'm planning on putting on the next morning, but right before we got to Mammoth, it started to rain up there, which rain on snow is not ideal, especially because the river was already a little bit on the high flow. We were like, okay, we're not putting in tomorrow morning, so we decided that we were gonna wait a day in Mammoth and put on the next day. Then about 3/4 through Thursday, when we were supposed to be putting on the next morning, it just did not drop as hard at Post Pile as we wanted or expected. And right when it started to kind of flatten out, the bottom was above the high water mark you pretty much want to put on anyway, just because high water in there can be really sketchy with all the small eddies and sieve piles and portages. So we decided, you know what, it doesn't look like it's going to drop enough. Let's start heading back towards where my car is at Mammoth Lakes. But about halfway through the drive, all of a sudden Kings looked like it was coming in, but we weren't sure if it was going to like drop really hard. So we finished off the drive, went ahead and just went all the way to my truck, spent the night. When we woke up that morning, we headed into service, and Kings is, it's on the lower end, but if it goes up at all, we'll be heading into nice medium lowish flows. And after a lot of debating, we were like, okay, we can't not go into King because it's at the lower level. It'll still be great, still one of the most amazing hikes, amazing gorges, so much sick whitewater, even at the lower flows. So we're like, okay, we have to commit, even though we just did a ton of driving and have to do a ton more, we gotta go for it. After 2 hours this morning to Fresno, drove 3 hours down here to the takeout. And then once those guys get here, it'll be about 8 hours around to Bishop Pass Trailhead, which is hilarious because if you look at the map, it's like a perfect like U. It's like, it's insane. It's literally just like right there, but instead we have to drive like 8 hours around. Once we get there, spend the night there, wake up nice and early in the morning, and then head into Kings, which I am super fired up that it's working out last minute. But there was definitely some debate on whether or not we should head in, because I have to head to Colorado early Tuesday morning. Right now it's Friday, which means we're gonna start hiking on Saturday morning. So we have to do a fairly fast lap, like about 2.5 days. I have to come out on Monday if I'm gonna make it to Colorado in time for GoPro Mountain Game. So yeah, it's gonna be tight. Luckily these guys were down to rally for it. So we're heading in, and I'm definitely looking forward to dropping back into King because that is one of my favorite places in the world. It's gonna be a lot lower than last time, but I'm very much looking forward to heading back in there. And with the lower flows, should be able to do more of the rapid. It's gonna be so sick, so stoked. Let's go. All right, well, we finished about 8.5 hour drive from the takeout up here to the trailhead. It's about 10:30. Now it's time to get the boats packed up, make the DIY noodle system, which definitely gonna make sure to reinforce this time because I do not want to have to shoulder half the hike like I did last time. So fingers crossed I actually do it better this time and it lasts the whole way, because last time was a bit of a struggle. Time to get the boats loaded, get everything ready. Tomorrow morning, wake up nice and early and see the peaks through the sunrise, and about to do one of these sickest hikes ever. Fired up. It's gonna be so good to be back in there. One thing that's nice, no mosquitoes this year. They were brutal last time. Don't let me fall in. I got my feet wet for the last 5 hours of the hike. Doing pretty good. Absolutely love this place. Gotta work for the goods, enjoy the view. Some people drive all the way up here just to be able to do this hike. We got to do this hike to then go do about 2 days of sick kayaking. Love it. It's great. About 3 hours in, Time to go up and over the switchbacks and on top of the pass. Just enjoy the view and keep moving. Oh my God, that shot was so sick. Well, okay. It's snowed out and it's super steep below. This is gonna be the stoutest thing we do all week. I wonder if I can go up left. Yep, going this way. Woo. Stout. Hopefully that's the only one of those. I love this view. Whew. Made it over the switchbacks onto the top. It's a nice feeling making it over the switchbacks because it's, I mean, steepest part done, at least uphill steepest part. Relatively flat and downhill for the next like hour or so, maybe 2 hours. And then you get to the down climb to the river, which about another 2 hours. Good times. All right, 6 hours and 15 minutes in. Just made it to the top of the drainage. I thought the mosquitoes were gonna be at the start of the day, not the end. First time I'm taking my boat off of my shoulders since I started. Feels great. I think I'm gonna chill for like 20 minutes or so, let the blood get back into my shoulders a little. Shoulder system went substantially better this time. Still not perfect. I'll take it compared to last time. And this time it at least made it well all the way to the top of the drainage. And I'm gonna shoulder it from here anyways, just cause down climbing with the boat vertical, not as enjoyable. It's the weirdest sensation walking up or down or just around after having the boat that much weight on your shoulders for like 6.5 hours. Feels like I'm floating. Sherpas are so badass. I've just done like 6.5 hours, not that many miles. Can like barely lift my arms. Those guys are sending the stoutest stuff. Still can't really lift my arm, but time to finish this off. Just gotta get to that wall. See the river. Hell yeah. Naka boy, got one for ya. Can't see the landing, but I'm sure it's totally fine. Whew. Oh, made it. Took about 8.5 hours again. Stoked. Now it's time to let the blood flow back to my shoulders and my arms. And then now, so much good kayaking to go. Definitely looking forward to seeing the contrast in water levels. And have a snack, drink some water, wait for those guys, and get this thing started. Sure, my foot's gonna look lovely after that hike. Oh yeah. That's what you wanna have on an 8-hour hike. Is the other toe like it now? It's starting. Probably gonna be something tomorrow. That's why I love California so much. Very few runs are you not either hiking to get to the run and putting in the work, or even in the run itself you're having to put in some work, because sometimes you gotta be willing to work for the kids. Been here for about an hour. Definitely thought those guys were gonna catch up to me real fast on how slow I do the down climb. Oh, that's work done. Woo. Back in. So fired up. One of the coolest meadows. River just snakes through the grass. So cool. Boy left. First trip, I went just left to the kicker. I hit my ass. I threw my ass so down I couldn't sit down and camp. With the high water, I was able to launch off that wall. This one has a pothole on the right. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And I think a cave on the left. I don't know if it's a good idea to run this one with 2 people. Yeah. night. It's substantially lower than last time I was in here. I think it's at least 700-800 lower. It's gonna be different down there. But a few things we had to portage because it was too high. Should be in at these lower flows. Pretty fired up to be back in here. I got the second ascent of this last trip. It was higher water. Ben Schuster is the only other person that's done it. He was the first D. Which isn't that reassuring when you get to something because he runs so many things. But I saw it and it looked good.
You gonna run it?
Not just two of us.
Portage it. What?
This is the camp.
Oh! Ah!
Ah! Ah! Well, in case you're wondering why there's only two of us now, unfortunately, Josh had to drop out on the 2.5 day, but luckily there's another crew putting on for a 4 day, that he's gonna join them, which is probably more enjoyable anyway, because you get to spend more time in the gorge. So, me and Isaac are gonna do the 2.5 day, and everybody's gonna get to enjoy this. Love it. Well, we're in, pretty tired, a little sore from the hike in, but we made it through the bank, and now, right at the top of the gorge. Tomorrow we're going to crush from here all the way to Hippity. So much sick white water from here to there. So fired up to drop back in there. It's such a sick day of kayaking. It's like 7 or 8 hours. It's going to be so good. Definitely looking forward to checking out the lower water just because we had to skip a few things because it was too high last time. Hopefully it won't be too low this time. Hopefully it should be a great level to run like Raw Dog Gorge and a few of those other sequences. Either way, regardless of the flow, tomorrow's going to be a sick day. Can't wait to crush all that just all-time whitewater, 6 slides, drop, and then finish it off at one of my favorite camp spots in the world. It's a Hippity. Another day in paradise. Phew. Woo. All right, today's the day. Got nice and early. Got a lot of ground to cover, but yeah, solid breakfast, had some coffee. Then it's time to head into like all-time whitewater from here all the way down to the Hippity. Gonna be sick. Stoked. Yeah, this left channel, move left, stay left. Woo! Yeah. That whole section when we came in at 2 grand, I was just non-stop. It's like, So we decided to walk this last time. You could have run it, but the holes were looking really big. I'm gonna get to run it this time. But I'm definitely thinking that after today, with the 2 huge contrasts of levels, I'm gonna have a good sense of what my favorite level to come in here is gonna be. I wanted, but such a fun slide. Woo! Looks like he got pushed a little middle too. This trail goes, I think, most of the way, at least it's a Hippity. So it provides like perfect scouting trail just to walk down all these gorges or portage if you have to. Super ideal. Right, proof the holes. I like the proof right here.
Proof right here.
Raw Dog Gorge. It was too high last time. Had a sick gorge entrance here, then Raw Dog Falls. Stoked to get to do that one finally. Great. Oh yeah, Raw Dog finally. It's like you could almost do it, but wow. The last time I was here, this eddy had just flow going off the backside, so I don't even know if you could get out here. So stoked to finally get that. I was a little sad not to get it last time. So good. That gorge is so good. Alright, the Charlie Beamer. It's a little more reasonable at this flow than it did last time. Still stout. I'd have to feel a lot better about the moves at this flow. It's gonna be sweet. Level, especially that one down there. That one was massive last time, but still rowdy. Go. Oh, that's so good. Made it. Love this place so much. That dome is so sick. Oh, just the greatest view. And one of my favorite campsites in like the world. Today it took about 7 hours from put in to now. Last time it took, I think, just about the same amount of time, but got to add in a few more rapids and Raw Dog, which I hadn't gotten to do before, which was like so much fun. Finally check those sections out. That run is just so good. Even though it's like 900 CFS lower, that whole section is still just like so much good white water. Couple sick slides, couple drops. Just really, really good stuff. Push down here to Tehipite because I absolutely love this place so much. I love this campsite. And it's especially fun to get here because I think I mentioned it in the last video I made, but the top of Tehipite to here, that is basically the same amount of gradient. If I'm not mistaken, it's about the same gradient from where we put on to where we took out today. Yeah, that's a lot of droppage. Yeah, another just great day. Stoked. All right, just past 6:30 in the morning. Just woke up, having some coffee, going to water, gonna have a nice big breakfast again. Today isn't quite as long as yesterday, but that doesn't mean it's short. Still got the whole bottom 9. Hopefully, level will still be high enough that we can do most of it. Either way, it's a lot of really fun, stout, kind of more boulder garden style whitewater downstream. Like, it's cool because I like this system because you do like all the stuff upstream, which is like more like granite, slide, drops, things like that, and still some sick boulder garden in some places. But then camp here, and then this day you just have like all stout, like class 5 boulder garden, a lot of sick rapid, big booths. It's a lot of fun. I'm definitely curious to see what a lot of it looks like with a lower level, but I'm sure it'll be super fun. Looking forward to finishing the thing off strong. Should be about 4 to 5 hours of just great kayaking. And I mean, any chance to wake up by this dome is just glorious. But right when the sun hits the camp, it goes up like to like way too warm, but that's perfect. Get dressed, get on the water. Looks like we're about 5 to 10 minutes from that point. Time to get back after it. Here we go. So it begins. Nailed it. Oh, nice. Up on the rock, deep into the flow. Middle. My back seat's on so hard.
I'm glad you didn't have me scout it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that first one, it like knocked me on my head. That one was better with more water. Put on my left. Let's just double check what's left of the log and then I'll be good. This is definitely the one I was curious to see with lower water, because I guess not a lot of people run this one. And last time I did it, it was a lot higher water, so I thought maybe the spots would be gnarlier, but pretty much the same line. Yeah, looks good. Right up, do it again. Not my smoothest performance. Because like I thought on that first move, I carried my speed super well left. But then as I cut through the flow, it just shot me to the right. I ended up going up on the rock, flipped over a bit, rolled up, it was fine. Went into that eddy, I was like, oh well. I thought I could get a bigger boost by driving right, boofing and then carrying my speed. But I still just didn't have that much speed, so I kind of plugged, went into the rock on the right. Then I had no speed to go right of the log. Thought maybe I could go up and around it, backed up into the flow. I knew once I was down there and like not moving fast that I'd be fine. But I'm just kind of bummed how the whole sequence lined up. Not much for the fun. It happens. The guy's just gonna walk it, but probably be fine. You can definitely improve on my line, but maybe it's not worth it right now. I'll get it smoother next time. So much white water. Woo! Like back enders, like look at the wall. Oh! Woo! Yeah, that's so sick. Oh. So much white water at the bottom 9. 3 hours and 35 minutes. Woo! Made it to the confluence. That was such a sick morning. Bottom 9 has so much epic boulder garden whitewater, and it's such a big contrast between that and the first day with all the slides. It's so cool having like both styles on the same run. Like 2 different rivers combined. Pretty fired up to get another no portage lap on the bottom 9. Now we got Garlic Falls out to where the car is. So a lot of fun things to come. It's already been such a good day. Still got some more to go. Thanks. Last time we didn't even scout this one. Then they crowded us in. We all just like formed into the hole, pumped out to the side. Woo! Stop hole. All the way right. Yeah! Woo! Yeah! That one was sick. That boulder I spooked off of last time. Get lower this time. Woo! That was so good. Oh, dude, such a good lap. Oh, we crushed that. Thanks for rallying me, dude. It's like someone left a note. Said, you want to go to post pile? Unfortunately won't make it, but it is time to drive to Colorado early tomorrow morning. There was a note on the hood and I thought it was going to be like something calling me out doing something wrong, but nope, just a couple nice notes from the guys, I'm guessing from the area. Well, Steve and Joseph, thanks for the note. Steve, I don't remember you almost running me off the road, but I accept your apology. That was so good. With the beta we were getting and just the graph and stuff like that, I was definitely concerned that it was going to be a lot lower and really bony in there, but that was still a great level. Like a couple hundred CFS might pad out some things and make it just slightly more enjoyable, but at the very least I was expecting to get into the bottom 9 and have it be like just so many unrunnable things that are better at high water. But it was another no portage lap, and like there were a few wheelchairs in there. We kind of snuck around 2 of them, but like you could have run them. We just didn't do it, just 2 of us. And then we finally got to do raw dog, which was so great because I like was so sad to skip that last time. I'm definitely interested to see the gauge because that is still that's definitely the bottom end of when I'd want to drop in, but it's still so good. Kings is just an insane run. That hike is just breathtaking. It's just an amazing hike to go through. And then once you get to the river, it's everything from like granite slides, drops, so much good stuff, all the way down to one of my favorite campsites, Tehipite. And then the next day, you know, doing Tehipite down to here, bottom 9 is just a completely different river. It's just all boulder gardens, stout, and it's one of my favorite kinds of kayaking, which is just reading and running the whole way down, catching eddy to eddy, barely getting out of your boat. And when you do, it's maybe just one person gets out and scouts for the other person. Like one of my favorite types of kayaking, trying to find those stout little eddies or stout little ways to like scout without having to get out of your boat. Definitely a process to it, and it's a lot of fun. 100% worth the rally. So stoked that it came in just in time for me because I had no time to spare. Made it out, took about 6 hours today. Now we're loading up, time to rally back to Kernville, load up my RV, wake up nice and early tomorrow morning and start the drive to Colorado for GoPro Mountain Games. This has been one hell of a California season. So stoked to get everything I did. Now it's time to head up and do the competitions. So good, stoked, let's go. Woo!